In the bottom right side, there is a blue Terran player, after all, from the Shopify Rebellion. It is Byun. In the top left side, Red Zerg is putting his faith in his gaming skills. It is the Dragon Phoenix Gamer, Rogue. Alright, yesterday, definitely, or what, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, right, when we had the Rogue matches, or was it already 2 days ago? It may have been 3 days ago, actually. We had Byun yesterday, didn't we? Well, anyway, felt like Byun wasn't gonna make it through entirely at that point in time, but did manage to wiggle his way through, coming in the loser match and then winning the decider match as well. Had a bit of a scrappy time, really, qualifying for the main event. But here he is. We know he has it in him. We know he has the potential to make that happen every single time, but man, it got quite hairy this time around. For Byun, I think Byun had a pretty... He was first to qualify, right? Pretty sure we have this set up so that the person who qualified first is going up against the person who qualified second in the other bracket, right? And, well, I believe that is made so that, you know, you have a little bit of a better odds getting the best players in the finals. But at the same time, you know, it is Rogue versus Byun, which is a pretty insane matchup. So we're gonna be in for a treat here today, I would imagine. So this literally could be like a high tournament semi-finals anywhere, really. Let's see, the Reaper's doing pretty good so far, getting 2 lings. Michael Jackson on the case, getting a 3rd. Oh, the Reaper does manage to escape as well. What a man. No worries for that guy. Very quick 3rd command center for Byun as well, so 3rd hatchery for Rogue. Byun unable to interrupt that with the Reaper. I don't think people really even do that anymore. Like, the entire focus of Reapers these days is just killing those 6 lings, isn't it? And then trying to be annoying against the creep tubers. In a way, killing the lings is pretty good, right? Makes things a little bit easier. Oh my, let me double check actually if I don't have anything running in the background here. Seems to be okay. Sorry, I literally just woke up. Okay. So I'm a bit hazy, I guess. That might be the word. Let's see. Third base for both these players now completed. Of course, has to turn into an orbital and still fly across here for Byun. Shouldn't be too much of a hassle. It's circling. Does it actually see the 3rd base? Yes, it does. Just barely, but it does get his eyes on it. So, kind of curious to see how Rogue is going to respond to this information. He sets up a bailing nest kind of early on, right now, straight afterwards. After that scout, so... still seeing a lot of drones on that menu though, so it looks like he just wants to go into the macro. Try to take the opportunity of Byun not having a lot of army, seeing the 3rd command center of course, and just drone up like a madman himself. Should be able to know exactly how much he's gonna get away with. This is an ungodly amount of Hellions though, jeez Louise. Not a single armory either. Which would be the first thing to expect from Byun if you see this amount of Hellions. So maybe that's the reason why we had the Bailing Nest as well. Perhaps a little bit wary of a Hellbat push. Now, we know it's not a hell-bad push, but that is still a lot of Hellions. A lot of Hellions. How many links do we have? 13, 8 queens in total. I mean, with this amount of Hellions, you could even run past 3 queens, right? You might lose 1 or 2 Hellions, but that is still, like... Whew. You'd still have 5 Hellions on the mineral line. Five or 6. Wouldn't be bad, wouldn't be bad. Well, he's playing it quite slow with them. Playing it very carefully. He's not even really trying to deny that much creep with it, so... Yeah, Byun... Playing quite passively here, right? In comparison to how we usually see it. Oh, actually, when I say that, I do remember that. Byun is one of those players that does know when not to attack really, really well. And kind of preserve his units, right? Keep them alive, keep them going, and actually get value from them as much as possible. As the first banelings, 4 of them. Looking to make a strike on this quick third base. It's not much here anyway, right? So it could come into connection. Let's see if we have a reaction from Byun. It should definitely be a reaction. He's just put down some supply depots here. And Rogue, wow, moves away with those banelings. I thought he would just kind of take the bad deal and just run into the supply depots, but now he's not going to get anything. Viking gets in third Overlord here. Is going to go down due to the Spore Crawler, unfortunately. Anything else? It looks like a push. Those Hellions are Hellbats now, so we, we are going to still see a Hellbat push, it looks like. Pushing on through. Careful, nice blow up on that Widowmine. Not gonna let that go off. A solid target fire. There's now the Hellbats as well. It's gotta be careful, man. Those banelings, they're quite close. And it's still on the creep over there. Hellbats, they die quickly to those banelings, man. Just more and more bases being taken by Rogue as we're still kind of looking for Byun to take the aggression here at some point in time, right? He's threatening aggression, but I'm not sure if he's... Well, I mean, the work count is pretty close. It's too early to say, I suppose. Has his just kind of aggressive moving and stances he's taken been enough to force out enough army units and such out of Rogue rather than drones? Or is Rogue just growing to inhuman proportions right now? Having already 5 bases pretty much, right? Versus the, well, still 3, almost 4 for Byun. And this gives me the heebie-jeebies as well. Walking on creep behind such a little choke point right here. Yeah, that is going to get punished hard quite quickly. Right, you have no way to retreat off creep anymore because there's a small corridor there. That was a very aggressive area to try and push into. You'd have to have quite a bit of confidence. Now you're going to be able to just take the trade there. And, well, it definitely took the trade, but not in a favorable way. Alright, another attempt. In a bigger area this time, right? A lot more kiting potential, but this man is committed onto the creep. He just wants to get rid of as much creep as possible. Just wants it to be gone as quickly as possible. Luckily for him, he has a planetary there, so 8 SCV losses is all that occurs. On the Widowmine there. We're seeing a lurker den being constructed by Mr. Rogue as well, so that is a ticking time clock as Byun is starting up the Ghost Academy here. Oh, another little bit of a connection. It's like we have a line of creep against a line of Widowmine infantry here. Pretty much, right? The creep is not dissipating as quickly as you think it might. Ooh, my, this is becoming a lot. Oh, overseers? Did the overseers get killed or sniped? I think they did. On the left side, there we go. Byun might actually be able to find some damage on the base here. Decides to just take the trade against the Zerglings, though. I'm not upset about that. Taking out the base is nice, but taking out that amount of Zerglings, pretty good as well. If your opponent is just running in his army with an F2 command, right, you can take an insane efficient trade. Just, you know, out-eco your opponent that way. Which might be the way that Byun is approaching this. He's playing very careful, methodically. So this game might come down to whether or not Rogue is able to take a couple more bases on the map that are originally Byun's or are kind of one of those contested bases, right? So like the top right and the top left, for example. Good snipes here. Man, those are some solid snipes. Jeez Louise, all the lurkers are pretty much dead already. Now they are. Good golly, man, that was ridiculous. Byun just sniping absolutely everything. Still got a drop over here. Does he still have the drop over here? Yes, he does. They're not going anywhere, but it's still a potential threat. Now, Byun, my boy, he's just started up killing everything everywhere all of a sudden, even with the lurkers out. Maybe Rogue just overestimating the power of the lurker there for a short period of time. But that short period of time definitely causing him quite a bit of hurt. Let's take another look at that in a moment here. I guess we can take a look right now. Look at that, the trade value looking insane for Byun at the moment. But he only killed 5 drones, right? Normally the trade value, if it is insane, it would go into favor for the Terran by killing just a lot of drones. But now it's just army that he's killing. He's going to be able to pick off a couple more lurkers here. And you know what? This is again not a really efficient trade for Rogue. He's just sending in these lurkers, but the lurkers aren't finding a lot of damage. Look at that, he just traded so efficiently again. There's like a couple of thousand extra minerals and 1,000 extra gas on the units lost tab now for Rogue over the lost units of Byun. And well, I gotta say, Byun, he's playing slow, methodically. It is looking really solid. Rogue, on the other hand, definitely the one. Well, I mean, he's not trying to do more aggressive moves, right? That's definitely not the case. He's going around with Nidus, but sure, but that's only a couple of units. Here and there, he started to push out with those lurkers. Well, maybe just once, actually. But he's getting bopped a lot. Yeah, Byun is playing this really well. It's not out of the woodworks yet, though, of course. Still has to keep making those types of plays happen. Lurkers and banelings, they're quite volatile. They can kill your stuff incredibly quickly, so you always have to have your eyes peeled. But if Byun plays it like this throughout the rest of the game, and he doesn't get, how do you call this, impatient, now I think he should be in a really good spot here, right? Look at that, 4 more lurkers. The top side base, though, does get destroyed. There we go. Rogue finally finding some actual damage here that Byun was not ready for. He is gonna immediately just turn around towards the other side of the map. Rogue doesn't have that many units. He's got some Zerglings here, and the Zerglings are gonna do pretty good as this army mainly consists out of Ghosts and Marauders. Nice choke point, though, does give them the opportunity to fight those Zerglings on a a fair battleground for them. Byun just keeps on pushing that Nidus Worm right there, giving another unnatural choke point to these units. The Lurkers and Banelings not quite done yet. Were those Banelings? There we go. No Lurkers being mauled there. I thought there were, but maybe they got cancelled. Getting those Hydras anyway. Yep. Guys, I think we are approaching the moment where Byun has just done enough. Yes, he's just lost the base, but his supply is still looking strong. He's killed enough of his opponents, and Rogue is just dry right now. Didn't manage to get more bases really than his opponents. Perhaps one more mining base, right? But other than that, I'm not even sure how long he's been mining off of it. Let's take a look at the income grab. Alright, well, I mean, that is very much in favor for Rogue. That is very much in favor for Rogue. So then, yeah, okay, this explains it, right? Like, just double the trade efficiency here. Double for Byun. That's crazy. GG. GG is called. Man, Byun. That's going to be a rough guy to beat today. Is Rogue just going to get super aggressive here? That's my question. And if not super aggressive, maybe we'll see one of those kind of roach push timings, right? They have been gaining popularity, and they seem to be doing pretty well for themselves overall, just kind of interrupting that game flow for the Terran in the early game can be pretty solid. Normally that's the job for the Terran, of course, in the way that we usually watch this matchup, but it's definitely something that the Xur can do to Terrans as well. Right. Is this a good map to do it on, though? I'm not quite sure. You're gonna have an Overlord pretty nearby, right? It's not too hard to hide an Overlord here somewhere for Ravagers to abuse. You do have the slow zones in the middle, which can be a little bit of a hassle, but a small patch of roaches should be able to push through there, and you don't really want to, or at least you don't really retreat with those units that much anyway, right? So I doubt he's going to be caught out if he does try it. Does go for the third base here. As we see another factory pretty close to that reactor. Previous game worked out pretty well for Byun, so I don't see why he would switch things up too massively, unless if it's really map dependent for him, right? That could be the case. There's gold bases on this map after all. It's definitely a whole different scenario here. Just because of that, and then the spawn locations too. Well, we'll keep our eyes peeled. This man is making a bunker. This man is making a bunker. When's the last time you've seen a Terran build a blind bunker versus a Zerg? That doesn't happen that often, does it? Maybe those roaches I was talking about, kind of on the head of Byun as well. He's gone for the Cyclone. Did I not put on the thingamajig to see? I don't even know. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't. Wow, no mods. Crazy. Huh. How did I do that? Huh. Probably not thinking. Alright, well that's my bad. We're gonna let these players keep playing though, of course. I'm not gonna be the guy saying like, wait a moment! Hold on guys. Let's restart this. I made a mistake. Oh my god, they're talking about mistakes! Byun! What's this? Okay, oof. Oh my. That's expensive, man. Just having your own mule just sitting there. Missing the mineral. Little medevac drop there. Does get spotted by the Overlord, but also, you know, does spot that medevac right there. So Rogue going to be aware of potential danger. Potential danger. Now, these two Cyclones here, I bet they don't only keep you safe against roaches from the early game, but together with the Marines right now, you actually have a pretty good shot of just killing mostly Queen, right? There are going to be Zerglings here, but if there's enough Marines to take out the Zerglings, which there are, surprise, surprise, this could be a very nasty situation for Rogue here, as long as those Cyclones just keep shooting. It's already a nasty situation for Rogue, to be honest, like, the amount of Zerglings he has to make right now, like 24 Zerglings, that's a good, solid number. And Byun, yeah, he's just gonna head out of there, right? Conserve those units. Be perfectly fine with that. Has his third base behind as well, and he's gonna bring out some Hellions. You know what? No longer are those Zerglings going to be enough on their own anymore. You're gonna need Banelings now. Even more investment for Rogue's gonna be necessary to keep his stuff safe. Of course, those Banelings could just get really good connections here. Let's see if that happens. Byun, of course, is sitting on the creep, but there's no Baneling speed. Zerglings coming in from behind, and you know what? Those are some solid connections. Those are some really solid connections. Medevac won't be able to pick up the Cyclone there either. A Liberator was trying to head to the main base, but it looks like a panicked F2 move, perhaps. Kind of preventing those plans from taking place, which... well, maybe I'm misjudging that, actually. There's a Spore Crawler there. Maybe he was just moving away because both of them were fully aware and are just a lot better at multitasking than I am. Who knows? Who knows? You'll need the replays for that. Oh, right. Scores. We did have 1 point for Byun. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. This one, this person, right here. I'm betting it's Sushi talking to me, but who knows? He's hidden his name, so no one knows, but I know who it is. And I will tell you, gladly. Another hatchery in the top right side. Can't take that down with a Liberator, but there is a Liberator in the neighborhood, and he'll find some other things to shoot. Cool base as well being taken, yeah. I mean, workers very similar in numbers now, right? And we didn't, again, have a lot of workers skilled off, just Zerglings pretty much. Like, honestly, it feels like to me that Byun is just... decided that, you know what, killing drones isn't worth as much as killing Zerglings is. Because if you kill the Zerglings, he's gonna have to make more Zerglings. No more drones for you, my good friend. You won't have Zerglings just nibbling on your units as you're trying to run by and kill drones as well. Pretty solid. And again, you would have to have micro comparable to Byun, of course, to keep on trading efficiently like this. The creep spread, gotta keep that at bay as well. It's starting to get a little bit out of hand here, I want to say. As Byun, around this part of the game, kind of playing passively, isn't he? He's trying to get to a point where he has got himself a good amount of bases, and he's going to have enough forces to kind of jump back and forth between all these places on the map. Ooh. Wasn't anticipating Banelings there, I see. Maybe wasn't even anticipating the creep to be there just quite yet. Medevac on the top. That's a big wave assault getting ready to take out this potentially up-and-coming planetary. But the Ro4, Byun does spot this. He's going to be able to make it run out of there before it actually gets close to the planetary. So that's really solid stuff there. Once again for Byun, kind of having that star sense work out for him. Medevac drop on the top side has been emptied out, it looks like. We'll just bring that back, and the Liberator finally takes a nosedive, plummets to the ground. Don't think it managed to get too many kills. Yeah, not a single drone has been killed. Not a single SUV has been killed either. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. That's pretty remarkable, right? Nice siege tank placement there. Definitely helping out against the mass Baneling style. A lot less Hydras involved here from Rogue at the start, so it looks like he's having a lot easier time defending all these areas and jumping on top of any potential aggression from Byun before it really manages to get anywhere close to a Zerg base. Is Rogue already taking the middle base? That's good stuff. That is good stuff. I always think, like, wouldn't it be the priority, kind of, right? In these types of games where it looks like it's going to go into a very long macro game, right? Both of them playing a little bit careful. You taking this base and just mining as much as you can from this is an enormous deal, right? That's like one of the win conditions pretty much in these types of situations. So yeah, if you focus on mining there first, it's gonna expose you, clearly. But you know, if you succeed, it's a major benefit. Gonna have a lot more opportunities than your opponent to get this side of the map, middle bit of the map, minerals, into your favor. Is he even gonna try to wait for that type of macro game though? He's rolling in here. He's not gonna be able to break Byun, unfortunately, for Rogue, but you know what? He had the bank, he had the supply. He's gonna just fall back now, remake it all, and try again. Those Banelings and Zerglings, they build quick after all, as we know. Byun, what's his production like? He's got himself 8 barracks, he's got himself 2 factories right now. It's a solid amount of production. Sure, but is he going to be able to keep up with the bank being accumulated now for Rogue? What I imagine is going to be just wave assault after wave assault from this point onwards, right? Why would he start the first wave if he wasn't ready to kind of keep the wave assault going? You know a Terran is going to be extremely difficult to break, especially if he's set up defensively like that. You're gonna need a remax, and well, he definitely managed to get his remax. Did he change his mind about trying to just keep pushing into the Terran here? That's a lot of creep. This is starting to get difficult for Byun, I would say. This is starting to get quite problematic. In particular, this creep right here, man. He just wants that base, as Rogue is already mining from... Well, he's not mining there yet, but he's mining from there. Yeah, I would say just grab these drones and put them here. That's what I would say, but I'm not a pro gamer again. Banelings once more, wave assault, running them through. They are ignoring every single siege tank though, and that means that a lot of those Banelings just kind of die on their way over to, well, something, Valhalla, who knows. A clean way to kind of mop the floor there with, again, an enormous amount of Banelings for Byun. And again, he's taking trades that Terrans are dreaming about, right? This is fantastic stuff for him, really. Is he going to be able to just keep holding on like that? That's the real question. How many siege tanks are we on? 9 siege tanks, alright. 9 siege tanks. We got lurkers, the tech at least available. We don't have lurkers on the fields. We got 2 of them. Maybe... Okay, so he's just using the lurkers kind of as a defensive tool. He's definitely not banking as much anymore on the proficiency of the lurkers. He's just gonna come in once more with the Zerglings, with the Banelings. A good amount of Hydras as well, as the Vipers yoink the siege tanks towards them. The Ghost, a great spread right there. Once again, kind of keep the area safe. The top side right here is protected also. A couple of SCVs go down, 13 in total. Probably were about 5, maybe 6 over there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Byun, the ball's in his court. He needs to make a move here. Because if he just sits back and he lets Rogue run into him over and over again, I imagine, even with this efficiency that we're seeing, it's not going to be enough, since Rogue has just 2 whole more bases over his opponent right now available. And they're being mined. They're being mined quite quickly. Byun pushing through the middle here. I'm not sure if I like that as much. I think I'd... Well, man, this is a rough patch. Mass Ling Bane once again. Here we go, flooding in. Sorry. Flooding in as the Ghost tried to get to safety, but look at the amount of Overseers and Zerglings Bane still remaining here. That is definitely a good chunk of Terran going down in that exchange, as well as Rogue makes this match even better for himself. Another base here going to be denied mining for Byun. Pretty sooner or later we're going to see a hatchery pop up there. Mark my words. +3 weapons for the siege tanks is going to be up pretty soon as well. With the amount of siege tank that we're seeing from Byun, that should be a pretty good thing. I like the spread. It's going to be difficult for the Blinding Clouds to get the efficiency that they are looking for. Popping some zips here on the map. As he tries again. This base here, man. That's a sad base, isn't it? I mean, army supply for Byun once again back at 130. Rogue's bank, that is what we're also looking at. He's still got 1,000 gas in the bank. He's still got about 600 minerals. So a remax on Zergling shouldn't be too hard to manage for him, but look at that. He's also got the two extra hatcheries here. The amount of hatcheries is insane, pretty much. 9 plus the hive. Yeah, 10 hatcheries right now. How many orbitals do we have? We have 10 orbitals in a planetary. 3 planetaries, wow. Certainly needs a lot of hatcheries for the production, but the Terran definitely needs it for the scans and defensive setup here. Man, that trade went very well for Mr. Byun. And Byun just kind of showing that, you know what, yeah, if you don't have to be aggressive as Terran. You can just let the Zerg kind of kill himself on you, even if he does have the 2 bases in the middle. Right? This base should go down. Definitely. Right? No, he's not going for it. So it's not going down fine. That's alright. I guess that's alright. Maybe Byun just being extra careful here. You know, clearly you would like to take it down, but perhaps the idea of not losing his army a little bit more important to Byun here. We move in again with the Zerglings and the Banelings. Are they going to get solid connections this time around? The EMP's trying to land on the Vipers. There we go, landing on one of them. Feel like that was a little bit more efficient for Rogue. Didn't run everything in entirely. Manages to kind of run out once the bulk of the Banelings kind of make their connections. Units lost tab ever so important here. With the amount of gas units that Byun has been making in the later parts in this game, that I feel like is a really clear indicator that Byun kind of, well, is he stimming the bleeding? I don't know. It's very close together, isn't it? It's kind of an indicator that I still don't know exactly what's happening in this game or how it's gonna go. On the one hand, I mean, Rogue should win this, right? He's just got the 2 middle bases. That's like something I always assume. It feels like a pretty clear thing in the game of StarCraft 2. If your opponent just has 2 more bases than you and you're starting to get mined out, that is... Well, I guess we haven't been mined out yet for Byun. That is coming up, though. Talking about something coming up. Another wave assault here, managing to rummage through. Circling banelings. Oh. You know what? Back to 70 army supply again here for Byun. He is struggling. He's definitely struggling, but he does manage to finally get a patch of units here onto this hatchery. Finally, a little bit of a victory there for Byun. So now things are really scary, actually. Byun's struggling with his supply, his bases. Pretty much mined out now. A lot of them, at least. And this is where those extra bases really come and knock. Rogue's like, oh, what? You're starting to dry out? Well, that's unlucky for you, my friend. I still have about 4 bases mining here. This is absolutely crucial. This orbital has to land, has to start muling up that area over here. But Byun, too brittle, perhaps is the right word, to keep pushing forwards here. He's got so many ghosts, so many liberators, siege tanks, the whole shebang, but moving all of it a little bit further here doesn't seem to be exactly the plan of Byun. You have to defend that area, right? Well, I guess it doesn't matter too much. Circling is now on that base once again, as we have Penguin Circling Army rolling on through. Not really getting onto the bio this time around. As Byun, you know what? Losing, again, a good amount of SCVs there on this base, but he stays alive. He's still alive, that's true. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan of Byun is anymore. Is it really just... It looks like he's playing a campaign mission, you know? He's just like, I'll just have to survive, right? I just have to sit here. Rainer's gonna come in with a battle cruiser. The other Rainer, the Jim Rainer, of course, the Marine. Well, there we go. Okay, now it's setting up a little bit further. Might be able to defend this area now, but it might be too late. Might be too little, too late. His army supply is still around the same of Rogue, and well, to be fair, Rogue's bank is not that great at the time. Hold up. Hold the phone. Hold the... That's almost 20,000 extra minerals lost by the Zerg here. That is pretty bonkers. That is starting to get up to the quantity of 2 extra bases. Can he do it? Man, that would be insane. Just letting the Zerg take such an advantage and just being like, yeah, it's fine. I'll just defend. I'll just defend. That's all I need to do. It's like seeing mech play, but then with the ghost as well, I suppose, right? Super efficient army. Is it efficient enough for something like this? we go. One more time. The wave is coming in from a lot of angles. More SCVs are going to go down. The paintings are, well, entirely onto the Terran units, but I don't see a lot of ghosts anymore. I don't see a lot of Byun supply anymore. The next wave might be the one that cracks him. Next wave might be the one that finally gets him, and I don't think that Byun can really do that much about it anymore. These middle bases not even that important. With so little minerals left. I guess it's the only minerals on the map though, so that makes them important, but this is rough. Well, the mules are helping out. This is a crazy game. I've never seen Byun be this passive for this long. Alright? He's got this little defensive line, but right outside, there's just a wave of creep waiting for him. I'm trying to re-max. I swear, if Byun wins this, I'm just gonna say that Byun is a gold. It's just changed the rules for StarCraft in my head if he wins this. And I don't think it's too unlikely that he wins this. Ooh, getting a ghost there. Good EMP though onto the Vipers. He's fighting against these lurkers now though. That's a problem since he doesn't have that many ghosts anymore. He had to revert back onto mostly marine production here. And these lurkers right now are making trouble for the final mining base of Byun. Can't let that happen. Extremely important base. 2 siege tanks right there. Getting yoinked actually. Not gonna... Okay, there we are. There's still lurkers there. Ooh, the Marines getting a good volley from those lurkers right there. Quite a bit of damage being sustained. But then again, a lot of Zerglings right there. Kind of walking in nilly-willy as well. Without much food for thought. Liberators starting to poke away, but the Queen's managed to remedy that situation. We're about 90 army supply versus 90 army supply. I can't believe that we're getting this close with 2 whole extra bases being mined out by Rogue here. You would assume that efficiency, no matter the amount, wouldn't matter. As you just have that much more as the Zerg. Alright, moving in again, those lurkers. A little bit of a scary moment here. The Queens and the Hydra are starting to move in. This might be the moment where things get decided. We need another scan. The lurkers, how many are left? Really, there's 5 lurkers left. 2 more in production. Rogue realizing the value of the slow methodical push here now with these lurkers when things are looking bleak for your economy. And has to make this efficient way of trading happen. But you know what? Byun is doing a great job at sniping away at the lurkers from a distance. To be fair, Byun has been losing siege tanks. He has been losing ghosts. He has been losing liberators as well. Due to those 2 Vipers here just slowly yoinking in the high value units. Making life difficult for Byun. All he has left is pretty much some minerals. Now he's going to start mining gas again. Might be a little bit too little too late. Not that many minerals left anymore to make something happen with that. But I guess he kind of needs to. He needs to respond to these lurkers with either liberators or more siege tanks. Or more ghosts, right? There's no way he kills this. With mostly Marines. Oh, Byun is going to try to go for it. His Marines are just going to disappear. GG is called. And Rogue ties up the series. Now, game number 1 and game number 2 still felt incredibly different to me, right? maybe there's something to be said when you're up against Ling Baneling, where your opponent just kind of gets that momentum rolling, right? And it's very difficult to get yourself out of it. So maybe, this is pure speculation, so don't take this with a grain of salt, but maybe, maybe in Byun's mind, right, it's necessary to be able to take a very efficient trade against the Ling Baneling and then start pushing across the map. Otherwise, you're just going to get trampled every time you try to move out, right? Those Lings are just going to surround you, the Banelings are going to get in close and then just blow you up and ruin your day as you're trying to move about and be mobile on the map. Now, with the siege tanks and stuff, Liberators, of course, pre-set up and just wait for him to push in. If that trade goes incredibly well, you'll be able to start counter-attacking, right? Without having all your units just immediately being enveloped. The problem with that, though, what I'm saying is that we had a couple of moments where Rogue did lose all his Zerglings. He did lose most of his Banelings, and maybe even Hydralisks and Queens as well in the mix, but we never quite saw Byun get all that aggressive, did we? He took out the 6 o'clock base once. The 12 o'clock base for Rogue was just there. It was just mining the entire game long. No fear in the world. Right, well, at least we got ourselves the mods back on, so that's nice. We'll be able to see a little bit better what I'm missing to point out. First Hellion. The Reaperless play. No safety bunker on the high ground this time. No Cyclones. That was the opening for Byun there, right? I guess that was the last time we saw him moving out. Maybe just feeling like that didn't go as successful as he wanted it to. So kind of just backing off of that right then and there. Ian's getting thwarted. Won't be able to come in there so easily. But now the Queens are on that position. Might be an opportunity for the Marines with the medevac here to make the move into the natural base. There we are. It's, Zerglings there. Byun not feeling it. Gonna try again with these Hellions though. And it doesn't really get much. Yeah, anyway. Drone. It's not what you're looking for, that's for sure, but it's something. Yeah, there's no way they'll survive. Marines on the other side, there he goes. There's the last bit of wheel. Floating up into space. You know that problem we have on Earth with like satellites, debris and stuff? Wouldn't that be like a massive problem on a map like this? Like on the surface of the water, like with all these bodies just kind of floating upwards and all these parts and bits, wouldn't that, like, wouldn't it eventually just blot out the sun? Right? Then you would have like a floating island of like Terran, Zerg and Protoss bits. That'd be crazy. That'd be a fun bit of lore. The underwater planet that had seen so much war, it blotted out the sun and we had a whole new continent made out of body parts floating on the ocean surface. That'd be pretty wild. similar to what happened in World War I, actually. A little bit of a head out with the Marines here. Gonna be able to pick up a couple of creep tumors, pick up a couple of Zerglings. Not bad. Like to keep those screens away for a little bit longer, of course, otherwise that creep just comes right back. He's going to be able to push in there again. Another medevac drop on the right side. That medevac extremely low, but it looks like a clear opening here. Goes once more for the creep. Incredibly important to keep that creep to a bare minimum when you're playing against someone with the Ling Bane style. Hydrus as well, but I guess against any Zerg style, really. It's just one of those jack of all trades kind of things that no matter what's happening in the game, it's going to be helpful to have. And Byun might be making some real headway here with this assault. The Widowmine, is it going to hit? Yes, it is. All those banelings are gone. A lot of the Marines are gone as well, to be fair, so the headway being made does get stopped. Let's take a look at how efficient that was. Not as efficient as perhaps a Terran player would be hoping for. So Rogue, still having that 5th base, actually. That's his 5th base. Probably not too worried about it just quite yet. Might be worried about his creep spread though, as even more of the creep spread once again is going to get targeted down. Byun just opened up the faucet to the maximum amount and just flooding out Marine Widowmine medevac armies in order to just assassinate any overlord or creep tumor trying to do any sort of scouting or anything beneficiary to the Zerg. Drilling claws. 3 more barracks. Ooh, and a baneling landmine. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! That is massive. There's another baneling landmine over here. Byun's gonna have to be careful from now on. He's gonna have to invest a lot more in scans, or perhaps figure out a way to get a Raven involved. Another little assault over here, of course. It's going to be able to find those Zerglings. So that's pretty nice. Picks off a couple more of them. Right. Is he going to make the same mistake twice? Oh, no. Okay. Whew. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, bam! Did he activate those himself by scanning while he was on top of them? I'm not sure if Rogue even activated those banelings himself. I think. Oh, that is rough. Well, he didn't have to anyway, right? It was just... Man. Alright, well, Rogue looking pretty solid now with those 2 connections. That's quite a bit of value, right? And value is the whole game plan of Byun. If you don't let Byun get that value, what else is he gonna do? Right now, have a rough time. That is what it looks like. Circling Baneling army is... Okay, still gonna head out here. Trying to get the Banelings to detonate onto the Marauder. Not gonna happen here, unfortunately. Not enough Marines there for the Baneling landmine to seem willing to detonate itself. These Baneling landmines are hitting solid gold right now. Digging treasures. Another big whammy here from the Zerg. That's finding pretty good. Solid trade there. So now this base over here in a little bit of peril. Reinforcements does appear to be enough as well. Ooh, Widowmine. No. Wait, was there not a Widowmine there? Am I crazy? There is a Widowmine there. Oh, I just can't see anything. Right, okay. Of course, I'm crazy. I thought, well, it has the watchtower there, right, to see things with, but it doesn't have the watchtower. It's in the ground. You don't have a watchtower when you're in the ground. It doesn't work that way. So that Widowmine actually pretty useless. Pretty useless. You might be able to... Yeah, this is... There we go. Alright, another push. Left side. Circling, bailing army. Kind of on the right side of the map here. Having a rough time maneuvering all of that. Yeah, this is rough. This is rough. You know what? I think those bailing landmines were just too efficient here. Like I said, efficiency, the entire game plan of Byun, as soon as he gets hit by 2 of those bailing landmines, I mean, that plan is a little bit out of the window. It seems like a Terran game plan where it just comes down to, I need to be perfect. I need to be perfect with my micro here and my trades, and then we can just play that defensive game. Wait out our opponents. But, yeah, we're not far removed from, once again, this just wave assault happening from Rogue. He's going to be able to, once again, take these extra bases in the middle of the map. Already procuring them right now. Is that a word? I think it is. Procure. Yeah. Right? I'm sure it is. More burrowed nuisances. Zerglings underneath the command centers. Having a rough time with it. Little push on the right side. Once again, cleaning out some of that creep. This is what Byun needs to keep doing, right? He needs to keep putting pressure on multiple flanks. Otherwise, I don't see this working out for him anymore. You know what? It would be wonderful if he actually manages to kill a base at some point again. Because Rogue has just been growing like crazy. Like a man on steroids. Careful. Oh, is this the right choice for Rogue? He sees that army a little bit clumped up, so he's trying to get the full surround. Doesn't quite get it. The edge of the army still has a little bit of connection to the bio units. Some bailing detonations there, but nothing too impactful, I want to say. Byun is starting to take control of the efficiency again. It's nowhere near what we saw in that previous game. Yeah, the base counts and such is pretty similar to what we saw in the previous game. So, I mean, it really is up to Byun to kind of keep that momentum. Oh, he's going to have to cancel that, isn't he? You're just going to have to cancel it. Wow, I guess it's just going to die. It's just going to die. What a split. Whew. That's impressive. Once again, finding that efficiency. Zerglings in the main base, getting the Ghost Academy out of all things. Wow. What a snipe. Ooh, it's a lot of Ghost. Nice pickup. This base, I mean, that's not going to be mined from anytime soon. On the other side of the map, there's a burrowed Zergling there as well. At least there's no burrowed Zergling here. If Rogue has anything to say about this situation, he's gonna say, you know what, this is not your base anymore. Setting off Widow Mines very nicely. Ooh, okay, you gotta be careful. Oh, no, okay, that's it. Pull back again. Very similar boats as the previous game, isn't it? Just less things even going in favor for Byun. Byun being a lot more proactive though, a lot more on the map, out and about. Still struggling. Definitely still struggling. Oh, careful. Reasonable Widowmine connections. Is he doing it? he shaving off enough Zerg each time? And Rogue is so good at just kind of this attacking in with just barely enough units, getting a little bit of the Terran killed, and then just backing off again with whatever he can get away with, right? Did he overdo it now? In a moment, did he overdo it? No, he didn't. Look at that. More Zerglings, small banelings in the back, ready for wave 2. Ready to catch the Terran if he does decide to try and make something happen here. Gotta love to see it. That very, very careful spending of his units' lives, right? Then again, he is just kind of rolling them in here. I think this might be it, guys. I think this might be it. I think that, yep. Yep. That's the camel's back broken. GG is called. Rogue makes it happen once more. GG. It's not really looking for a Ark of the Covenant or something like that, or a tomb. No, sir. He's just looking for whether or not there's a new Zerg hatchery growing, or have been grown. He saw the creep and manages to get out of there. As he checks the third, sees that it's there. Does he? Yes, he does. Double checks, puts down a bunker. Interesting. He's sending out Marines. Wait a moment, am I missing something here? No, it is just one barracks, but he made 3 Marines here right off the bat. Alright, interesting. That could cause quite a bit of trouble for Rogue, actually, with that bunker there. Actually, this is a solid play. What are you supposed to do here as the Zerg? Huh. Like, either it would be an enormous investment to try and make enough stuff to break the bunker with. You're gonna have to send your queens over there as well, so you're not gonna have injects for a little bit. Yeah, you're just gonna have to cancel the base. What a play. Why don't more Terrans do this? That's really strong. Did start up another third base a little elsewhere. But wow, just the 3 Marine opening here with a little bunker on the third base. No Overlord there to scout. Because people don't do that sort of stuff usually. It's gonna try again. Another little bunker here. No, there's an Overlord in position though. Rogue, yes, we know he's very good at those multi-game kind of series. And good at adjusting, good at learning. So I think next game, if we do get into a next game, we'll have an Overlord on top of that third base. It's not like a big deal there for Rogue that he has to do it. Right? Might be a bit more difficult with an Overlord there to spot other things coming in, of course. Like Hellions, right? Gonna be harder to keep track of which way they're heading. Marines here not finding too much. Hellions gathering up in pretty high number. We do have an armory available as well as the benches being constructed. The Zergling Scout does manage to get an eyeball onto the Hellion numbers, but can't quite see anything else. You would like to see something else here. You would love to see this Banshee. Okay, there we go. That's a good start. Notes about that. There we are. Spore Crawlers immediately on that production tab. Very solid stuff, but there is more threats on the horizon, of course. These Hellbats now getting on top of the Queens. The Zerglings. Okay, good barbecue there. Solid transfuse as well. There's the Banshee helping out with the extra bit of DPS onto these screens. Let's see, is that still enough here for Rogue to hold on? 4 banglings are marching in. Waddle in, and those connections are beautiful. Might still be quite a bit of trouble though for Rogue to really clean all of this up. 2 more Hell Bats as well as the Banshee. I'm gonna find awkward angles here to still make this kind of work. Fighting a lot of Zerglings there still. But you know what? That situation was solved quite nicely by Rogue. I have to admit. Just lost tab. Yeah, I think he's got. I think that was okay for Byun overall. He already delayed the third base by quite a bit. His own third base is also delayed though, of course, but well, delayed in comparison to the previous two games where he made the 3rd minute mark or something. Spy up from Rogue, interesting. Normally well, at least I've started assuming that Rogue kind of goes for the Spy up Mutalisk play if he feels like he has a little bit of a heads up in the game. If he feels like he's got a bit of extra minerals to spend to really just solidify that lead, that's when he goes for the Mutalisk. There we go, 8 Mutalisk. I'm not sure if Rogue has a lead though. These Mutalisk are gonna have to do something. No missile turrets in the main. Alright, well, just as I'm talking about it. Missile turrets are coming up in the 3rd in the natural base. Did he get a scan or something on the Spire? Oh yeah, he did get a scout on the Spire. Look at that. Okay, that's really solid. Alright. That's really important actually. Because we are having a solid investment into those Mutalisk. 11 of them. Right, if 11 Mutalisk don't get anything done, and Byun just kind of shoos them away, could very quickly get into a situation where Byun just walks across the map here. And takes out another base, or if not more. Mutalisk find their first bit of damage. There we go, 2 SCVs. Looking for Marines as well, it appears. Zerglings in the 3rd as well. Quick run away with those SCVs though. Does mean the missile turret goes down. Oh, big push from Byun also happening. That's where his Marines are. It's like, you know what, if you went for Mutalisk, you probably don't have that much at home right now. Those Banelings would have been helpful, wouldn't they? I think the Queens with the Banelings, or the Widowmines, unfortunately. And not the greatest value. Still more Mutalisk investment from Rogue. So that would tell me that he's still feeling confident in his position. The little mimic man. Going to be able to keep tabs on the Marine movements here. Allows those Mutalisks to become ever so much more efficient. Ever so much more deadly. Starting to get to the scary amount of bases here again for Rogue on his side of the map. Of course, he hasn't really claimed any middle map bases, right? The contested bases just quite although this map doesn't have too much contention for bases. It's pretty clear, right, which way you're supposed to spread out this map. Who's supposed to be mining where? Well, maybe these bases, actually. This one and this one right here. Those are kind of in the middle, right? I could go either way. I like the addition of Thors for Byun. Gonna be pretty helpful against those Mutalisks. Needs to be aware not to make too many of them though, of course. I think 3 of them is going to be plenty. I doubt that we're gonna see the Thors, you know, have Banelings run into them by someone like Rogue. It's another reason why I like to myself make the Thors in these types of situations, because most of the enemies I'm up against are going to run the Banelings into the Thors, so It's just a nice way to get rid of a lot of banelings that way. Careful. Seeing the splits. Yeah, alright. Still has a lot alive here. 122 army supply for Byun versus only 109 for Rogue. Rogue wants to do the counterattacks, I would imagine, with this type of army composition. But does he still have enough to just break the camel's back? Well, that is a lot of banelings. That is an ungodly amount of banelings. So maybe that is exactly what he's planning to do. Byun being very careful about moving forwards though, scanning ahead, and also slowly setting up those widow mines everywhere he can. Those widow mines getting massive connections right now. Quite well done. A little bit of luck as well, of course, involved in those types of situations. But you know what? It's working out for Byun at the moment as he's pushing on forwards. Rogue still trying to mass up more and more banelings, but he's lost a lot of them. He's lost a lot of them due to the widow mines and the splitting power of Byun so far. Is it still enough though? I'm not entirely convinced. How many Marines are left? One more baneling there, a lot more banelings over there. That is going to be another push of Byun being pushed away. Just when you think he's starting to gain some ground, Rogue just has more banelings. Widow mine's not great either there. You know what? I think we may have ourselves a victor here. This is very unfortunate. A very quick way to end this all of a sudden. Rogue playing with the Lingbane Mutant, not the way that we see a lot of other Zergs do, right? With the counterattacks, just ignore the enemy army. No, he's found a really good way to just keep the trading going. Trade as minimally as he can with just enough banelings, and then have enough banelings in the back still as well to come in for round number 2. Well played by Rogue, 3-1 in this series.